But basically the way we're gonna tag team this is today, because we both work here in South Arlington and we both do events similarly but with some differences. I'm gonna try to go through our events that we do, hopefully in a succinct timeline. I'm not very good at this, so like give me the proverbial hook. Try to get through this in like 20 minutes. Kristin's gonna go through her events. And then at the end of it, we've got a worksheet here that we would love if you guys throughout this process were maybe taking some notes, because I would love at the end if we could maybe collectively like put on an event together. Like let's come up with, if someone wants to volunteer and pick an event that they'd like to host this year, who their audience is, what the budget's gonna be, maybe we can do some brainstorming together and come out of here with a tangible plan for one of you to host your first event, okay? Cool? Woohoo! Yeah, woo! Okay, well Emily walked away from her sole responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding, she's doing everything.
She's gonna make sure the alcohol is like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And she's literally doing everything, so I tease. I just don't know how to use her computer, so.
It's on the big keyboard. Yeah.
Okay, so starting with the fact that, you know, when you get to the point where you have a larger team, you're doing much larger events, okay? And events can be very costly, so I know that they're intimidating for some people because there's a lot that goes into it. Sometimes you need staff, sometimes, again, there's advertising costs, there's vendors that need to be engaged, but they don't have to be. What we really want to show you guys is you can start with things that are just a few $100s that may in some cases even have more impact than some of these bigger scale events, okay? So again, in your worksheet there, as we're walking through this, think of, you know, events should be done at least quarterly, which is why you'll see there's 2 columns here, because we're hoping that coming out of today, you'll maybe have an idea for a Q3 event and then for a Q4 event. So maybe try to start thinking of what your budget may look like for the year, and then get some ideas coming out of this presentation of what maybe you can tackle. Go ahead, Emily. Okay, so these are some of the events that I literally started my career with. As you can tell, I am not a graphic designer. I have no skills whatsoever. I literally printed these pictures and a Word, you know, using Word, and actually glue sticked them to a poster board. That's how simple these events were. But these are events, don't kid yourself. These can have a huge impact in your community. These are extremely low cost. So I happen to have a client that worked for the Spanish embassy and made killer paella. So he said one time, like, I'd love to make it for you. Invite either your clients or invite people, neighbors in the neighborhood. And we literally invited 25 neighbors to come over and have paella in the backyard. That event literally cost me like $100 in supplies for him to actually prepare this meal. Fire pit nights. So this was a tradition that I started on Halloween. We have a big backyard area in my condo community, and literally my husband and I would have a fire pit every year, and we would knock on all the doors, trying to be the cool house that gave away the full-size candy bars. You know, like there's always that one house that has to trump everyone and give away the full-size candy bars. Well, that was us. But we also made it a place where parents could come, sit down, have a cocktail, and interact with one another. Again, these are actual events. So you'll see that we go into much larger scale productions, but for some of you who are just getting started, these absolutely make a difference. The Coffee with Kay, I loved this. I actually went and stood at the bus stops in my local area. I found out the hard way that you can't serve open coffees, because we tried that the first time. You can't get on the bus, right? I didn't know you can't get on the bus with like coffees, so that was a bust. The first one we did, everyone was like, sure, but I can't get on the bus with this hot coffee. So we switched it up and did little frappuccinos instead, and literally stood at the bus stop just giving away frappuccinos to people who were getting on their morning commute and heading into work that day. I mean, this cost me no more than time, effort, again, a little embarrassment when I showed up with hot coffee and no one could take them, but then learned from that, and these are the kind of things that you can start with. If you'll notice on your worksheet that we talk about target audience, these specific events here are clearly targeting my local community. So you guys are going to want to think about, does your event target past clients? Is your event targeting your community? Is it maybe targeting friends and family or your sphere of influence? I always thought this would be a cool one to partner with someone who maybe had a book club. If you know anyone who has like a book club or does some sort of moms group, and saying to that group like, hey, why don't I treat everyone in the group to coffee one day? Why don't you host your book club at Starbucks, and I'll come by, say hello, and buy everyone in the book club coffee that day. Like, what an easy event, an easy way to engage with some new people. So just putting that out there as an idea. These are very low cost because you don't have to actually rent any space. In a lot of cases, you can just use your own backyard. Pardon me. So we then graduated into a few additional events in our area. One thing that I did want to point out here was just kind of how things advanced throughout the years. This down here is an example of some of the ways that we piggyback on current events that already exist. So who in this area attends a farmer's market or has a downtown area? You regularly attend farmer's markets. What about, like, we have downtown Shirlington here, but I'm sure some of you come from Clifton or maybe from the Ballston area or have your own downtowns. Well, piggybacking on some of these already existing events can be another really great, inexpensive way to get the word out. So this is a perfect example of kind of how we've matured over the years, but I think this was one of our first downtown tree lighting ceremonies. We literally just called up and said, hey, can we give away swag? All we had to do was print a table banner, bundle up some bottled water, which I'll show you some of our swag for those of you who want ideas as to what to have at your event, and literally just gave away bottles of water and candy. Now again, these events did target more of our community versus like past clients, but what we started doing in the future, as you can see here, we graduated to having our own tent and a few more swag pieces, which I brought with me today. What you can do is you can make an event like this serve two audiences. So what we started doing was having a booth at the local events, but then we would sit and call through the database of our past clients or our sphere of influence and invite them to the event. And in fact, we later took it a step further by we would tell our past clients to come by for a special client appreciation gift. So if they stopped by our booth at this event that already existed, we didn't have to pay to participate in it. We simply had to show up with our tent. We invited our clients to come, and if they did come and visit us at the booth, we would give them a $25 gift card to eat at any of the restaurants down here in Shirlington. I mean, that was a way for us to basically host a client appreciation event for like less than a few $1,000s. I know a lot of people talk about having to rent a winery or having to do super fancy things. This was just a great way for us to take a free event, invite our clients to it, and then give away some swag and a gift card, and our clients absolutely loved it. So again, always trying to think of ways to piggyback on other events, I think is really smart.
So for the bottom left, where you started, they didn't have any official event like sponsors. You just called and said, am I able to do this? Because I feel like sometimes it's more logistics when they're official sponsors, just more for people to.
So Shirlington has definitely become more sophisticated over the years in their management, because now I can't even say that they still don't charge you for these sponsorship opportunities, but they have sought out more vendors to have at these events. So it is true, this here, we were kind of like the lone vendor. We literally called up and just said, hey, you're having like the tree lighting ceremony. Is anybody giving away bottles of water? We did eventually graduate to hot chocolate that we gave away at this, and then discovered that keeping chocolate hot in the middle of winter without was really, really difficult, so we scrapped that. I would love to bring that back in some capacity, but again, without restaurant quality equipment, keeping the hot chocolate hot was very difficult. But we literally just called them up and said like, hey, is anybody doing this? Can we? They have now started including many more vendors, so when we do their like yacht party and we do the tree lighting, now we're probably there with 10 to 12 other vendors. But to your point, Emily, it started with just calling and asking if this was something that we could do. So I'm trying to think of additional, like, if there's a church that maybe does like an Easter egg hunt or does something, and you could say like perfect example here, this happened to be in my community, but they do this Easter egg hunt every single year. So I just called up and asked, like, what if we sponsor juice boxes? What if we actually pay for the new bunny costume? Because yours is, you know, getting used every year. What if we support the event in some way? Could we come and have a booth there? And then again, you can utilize that event to invite your clients to it. So now it becomes part client appreciation, part community support, part shameless self-promotion. Because let's be honest, that's what all of this is about. Go ahead, Jay.
So, when you started, you were like the sole person. And are there any other agents or teams doing the same thing now in the same event? And do you care?
Great question. And it's interesting because Kristin and I actually both work here in South Arlington. So you could argue, like, don't you guys overlap? Hi guys, come on in. Don't you guys overlap, or is there anyone competing with you? And we just find that, I don't know, there's like territory for everyone. So I've carved out my little niche, like she's carved out her little niche. There's a couple other agents that have maybe carved out their own. We don't tend to overlap one another. So I haven't had the experience of another agent trying to come in and do my exact events.
So in my community, there is one agent, Vic Takara, and another one.
Oh, we gotta get her out.
And another big agent in the community, and it's like, what's the point of me even, like, I don't wanna, you know,
I do.
infringe.
I do.
I mean, she's in the same community also, so.
That is
So I will say,
yeah,
we're literally, how many streets apart are we?
yeah, like not many.
So she's Shirlington and I can walk here. Like, I actually live closer to Shirlington than she does, but also Columbia Pike. So I focus on Columbia Pike and she focuses on Shirlington. And so we don't, you know, piss in each other's backyard, but we support. And so she's doing the Easter thing for Shirlington. I'm doing one up the hill in Douglas Park for the homeowners.
So we don't have that opportunity, it's all one event.
Find
and-
something that you're doing at that event, which is not the same thing. Yes, you're all realtors, but bring a different,
Got it,
bring a different
yeah, bye.
excitement,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or could you guys, especially the funny thing about this is at least you're all EXP and you're all part of the same
Yeah.
We're
group.
not one of them,
So, well, not, okay, well, then
she's
that
a
person,
compass agent.
that person doesn't get to be included.
Who cares? You piss in her backyard.
Yeah, exactly, then that person doesn't
Right,
get
but her
included.
backyard is Dick's backyard.
Yeah.
It's the exact same
Piss in her
area,
front yard.
they're very, it's a very small, tight knit
But
community.
that's why you're right, so one thing that you could do is decide to have like a coalition of EXP agents and do it together. We've talked about partnering at events, I'm not sure if that's not of interest, then you are right that maybe your target audience, or like speaking of the worksheet, for events is not your community, because someone kind of owns that community. I happen to own my community now, but someone else who might wanna come in, or might wanna start doing events, may decide that they're gonna target their past clients instead, or they're going to perhaps target their church audience, or like I said, their kids' school. In fact, I'm so annoyed with myself, I totally had my, one of my associates go back to my house to get this envelope of cards that I was gonna show you guys, and of course it's sitting upstairs. But perfect example, so I don't have children, but I participate a lot in the local elementary school stuff. So recently we did fundraising for their big trip to Williamsburg. And they made us a whole stack of cards, like all the fourth graders filled out thank you cards, and so we showed up at the school and like delivered the check and got the thank you cards and took pictures and made a big event and spectacle of it. There's lots of, and it's funny because I don't even have kids at that school, but someone called me and asked if I could sponsor the thing, and I said, sure, I'll sponsor it if I can do all these other things to get promotion out of it, and they said yes. So if you don't feel that you have the opportunity to do things right in your backyard, there are multiple other audiences that you can target with events.
And Kay, I have to say, who cares? Honestly, like, if you guys are big agents, are your egos big enough to where you could tolerate an upstart coming into Shirlington and being like, I wanna do what she's doing? Success leaves clues. To me, it's a compliment when a new agent goes in and does exactly what I'm doing at a fair. Cause we do it
A
all
little
over.
different, cause it's like you're
Yeah.
friends with this
And they're-
person.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You kick them out?
I was just gonna say, I probably could have
No
been,
one's stepping
just gonna
foot.
be honest, unless it's someone in EXP, and then I would be
Yeah.
begrudged, but I
Yeah.
tease, like, there is
Okay.
enough room for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
But, what, you had a question?
What were the promotional things that you asked for to do, like, so how did you benefit from that?
So, like, the example, yeah, benefit, I mean, it
You know what I
has to be,
mean, promoting.
yeah, for sure, anytime someone asks us to volunteer to sponsor something, like whether it's a local high school volleyball team or something along those lines, it's just never, yes, I'm going to write a check. It's, sure, can I deliver a check somewhere, and then delivering it at a time when there's going to be people there, do you mind if we get a couple photos while we're doing it, and you turn it into a whole social media spectacle? So, and I think that people understand when you ask for those things, because especially if you're supporting at a reasonable dollar amount, people want you to keep coming back and want you to continue sponsoring, so they're going to give you opportunities to promote yourself so that you do it.
Right, and that wasn't a huge ask, it's not like you asked them, like,
No.
for
Like, could you have a
information, like,
parade?
information.
Could you actually have a parade? I'd like it to have like 703 call K signs. Yeah, no, it wasn't at all. So it was
Right.
just a matter of allowing us to get social media out of it. And I'm usually very honest. I'll just say like, hey, like we did a whole thing with Bridges to Independence, which ironically just moved into the 4th floor right next to me. I'm beyond excited that they're gonna be there. I feel very, very passionately about affordable housing. That's a huge passion of mine. I have multiple properties that are used by people coming out of homelessness, but we do a backpack drive for them, and we always ask like, hey, can we show up, deliver the backpacks, do a photo op. We actually did a whole photo video of us packing the backpacks and everything, and then turned it into a promotional opportunity. And they were like, great, sure, come on in, do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
So yes, these are very community focused, but this as an example, even though yes, it was in my community, this was an elementary school that does a 5K, and we came in and actually like hired some of these actors and actresses to come in, cause it was like whatever theme, what are they called, Disney character theme, yeah, I think that's supposed to be Cinderella, and we just offered to provide like the actors and to provide whatever it is that they needed to have this event feel really special, and in return, all we asked is that we were able to show up, and then we actually provided all of the water bottles for the event. So the 5K, everyone at the finish line got to take a water bottle and leave, and I will show you where we do buy all of our swag. As you can see, we brought a lot of it today.
I'm really disappointed you didn't dress up as Cinderella yourself.
I know, right? I should have, but AKA shameless self-promotion. Sunglasses, hold on, 703 call K. See, look at Megan knows how you do it. See? Megan knows, everything's a photo op. Okay, so keep going for me. Let's see. Okay, so seminars, man, did I love seminars. They got rough. They got rough after COVID. I know a lot of people have had trouble making seminars work again. A lot of people are moving to virtual. So I didn't want to spend too much time on this, but this was fun. We made it a wine and cheese event. We did it at the community center in my area. We then moved them to the library because they started getting bigger. We've now started doing them here. So this is an event. You know what I mean? Like, this is an event. People don't think of it as being an event, but per the worksheet, you can decide who your target audience is. You can decide what social media you're going to create around it. What's the follow-up plan for it? What's the swag and branding that you're going to give away at the event? This constitutes an event, and use it as such. I think Whit, where are you? Oh my gosh, hi buddy. I think you're the one who does housewarming parties at a very high level. So this is something that he is very successful at. Was that you? Was I wrong on that? Okay, so he's very successful at that. You guys may want to talk to him after this. But housewarming parties are just such a cool way to not only say thank you to your client that just bought a house, but to meet all of their friends and family. Come on in. We'll try to not make it awkward for you. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry, woman.
No, come on in, grab a worksheet. But housewarming parties are just such an incredible way to meet people, take lots of pictures, social media everywhere about how cool you are and how much you support your clients, especially after they move into their home, and it's super inexpensive. We actually just give our clients a $300 budget, and we tell them to pick, whatever catering or local restaurant they want. We go pick everything up, and then we show up and get to mingle with the guests, and then again, do a whole bunch of social media around it. But it's a very inexpensive way to host an event. Cool? I'm probably not saying on track, trying.
No.
Okay, so this is my biggest takeaway, and I'm sure Kristin will say the same thing because her team is very consistent. It's not about throwing the biggest and most expensive event, it's just about consistency, being memorable, and connecting with people. So don't overthink this. There's a couple more slides after this, and make it sound like I'm wrapping up. But there's more. But being consistent is the most important thing. Don't overthink this. Like I said, find a friend who has a book club and take the whole book club out for coffee. Find a school that needs a field trip sponsored. Like, piggyback on a local farmer's market and ask if you could throw them a few $100s to set up a booth one day and hand out tote bags for people to use at the farmer's market. Like, don't overthink it, just make sure you're doing these consistently. I'm gonna keep going, because now we already showed you this slide, but I wanted to show it again. Oh, look at what Yvonne, this was so sweet. So not that this really now it just looks like I'm bragging, but how cute are these? These cards, every single fourth grader created a thank you K. Houghton and Associates card for sponsoring the field trip. And it's just such a neat opportunity to go in and meet the kids, and hopefully one of them goes home and says, hey, I got this really cool realtor, Mom, maybe you should buy that. I don't think that's gonna happen, but it was just so neat to get this opportunity with them, and it really did not cost us very much at all. But I'm showing this slide again just because I'm gonna move into some of the more expensive events, because yes, they can get costly, but these aren't the events we started with. This is where we started and lived for really a few years until we got the business up and running. So go ahead and click through for me. So we started, I showed you in the beginning, we used to sponsor the existing Easter egg hunt in the community, and that was a much less expensive way to support the community. But we found that, there's always drama in the community, and the moms group decided they wanted their own Easter egg event, and that Shirlington wasn't doing it the way they would do it, so they approached us about sponsoring it, and we were like, hell yes. And we took this to seriously the next level. We have professional photography, we have meet and greet with the Easter Bunny, we have full open bar for parents, we have under 2-year-old egg hunt, 2 to 7-year-old egg hunt, older kids, snacks, the whole shebang. This is an amazing event. It does probably cost us, I would say, $3,000 a year, but it is absolutely well worth it. We have so many people that just come to the event and say, I can't believe you're doing this, thank you so much, and I will absolutely call you when I buy or sell a home. So
Say open bar
we do.
for the adults.
We do.
How do you pull that off?
So the great thing is that it's on community property, so we don't have to have a liquor license or anything like that. Thank goodness. Not all of you are gonna have that opportunity. If you decide to do something like in a church parking lot or something, you may wanna look into permits and licenses and all of that kind of stuff. This is why I love community events. A lot of them I can host in my own backyard and pretty much do whatever I want. And it's less fancy than it sounds. It's an open bar, but it's, mimosas and the truly seltzers and beers and things that you can put in a cooler. So it's not nearly as fancy as it sounds, but parents just love the opportunity to make a mimosa, chill out, and let their kids be entertained. So, small business expo. So this was a really cool, I'm trying to think of what areas, if you weren't targeting your community, but maybe your target audience was a certain field. Like some of you may be involved in a group that does woodworking, as an example. My father's actually a woodworker, so I bring that one up. There's probably other woodworkers that would absolutely love to show off their woodworking. So could you try to coordinate some sort of event where woodworkers could come and sell their wares and show off what they do, and you could be the lead sponsor of it. So getting creative and thinking of like who's in your world that like you could potentially partner with. And that's why I did write on this list, one of the things says partners and resources. I think that is really, really key. If you're really active in your church and there's a couple people in your church that are particularly social and are just really, really good at connecting people, talking to them, just simply ask them, what is it that I can sponsor, is the easiest way to get involved in events. Is simply saying, what is it that I can sponsor for you and put my name all over. Then you don't have to do any planning, you don't have to, that's kind of how this came about. Someone approached me and said, I really want to promote my small business. Is there any way you'd be willing to tell people about what we do? And I said, funny enough, a lot of people ask us that. I'm not quite sure how to go about this. And she was the one who said, well, why don't we do a small business expo? You know, it's gonna cost $1,000 to rent the space and to produce the bags and to do all this. Would you be willing to sponsor it if I put it on? And she was the one who put out the alert for the small businesses to apply. She went through the vetting process. She put together a little mini committee to vet the vendors. We simply sponsored it and then physically worked the event. But really going, like, if you have a hairdresser who like really wants to promote the new business, could you be the sponsor of like some new hair product? I mean, my God, it's perfect for Kristin. And then ask if you could be involved in personally inviting all of their clients to come to this new salon like launch. You know, just thinking outside of the box on ways you can piggyback with things that are already happening is going to save you guys a lot of money. This was the coolest thing ever. Has anyone been to a cat parade? Has anyone even heard of it? No?
Have they had it this year yet?
No, they haven't had it this year. But the cat parade was like the coolest thing ever. But this was something, again, someone had an idea, they saw it on YouTube, someone in Canada did this cat parade, they wanted to do one too, asked if we would sponsor it, so we sponsored every single sign. So in the yards, people go door to door and like view the cats through the windows. And there was a sign and a QR code at every single one. When they clicked on the QR code, it took them to a bio about the cats, but our was everywhere. It was like, K. Houghton, K. Houghton, K. Houghton at every single house and every single scan. It was just absolutely amazing promotion. So you, Megan, could do something with Cosmo. I'm sure you know other cat owners. Yeah, Cosmo Fast, he has his own page, and I'm sure you could get together with other cat enthusiasts. Come here, baby.
Oh, come here, you heard that you were talking about a cat.
Come here. Come here.
Oh my God.
I love it so much. I wish my babies were here, but okay, keep going, because I gotta get Kristin up here. Yeah, so again, they've clearly grown to be much bigger. So this event, the Fall Festival, we rent a community center. We have face painters, we have balloon animals, we have a photo booth. I mean, this event costs us at least $5,000 to $6,000 every year. This is something that you can graduate into, but we did not start here. You can also rely on your allied resources, again on your worksheet. These are people who work with you who would be willing to contribute to the cost of these events. So this is not something that you have to pay for completely on your own. But again, we did not start here. We started by piggybacking on events that the community was already doing, and then it kind of morphed into our own events. Most expensive thing about doing these events, which is why there's a tab there on advertising, is printed ads. So I will say that we've stepped away from doing postcards and mailers related to these events, and we've really moved everything to social media. I know that's where everything's going these days, but that's a whole nother class. If you guys can get hip to like geofencing and geo-targeted ads, like I know it's a whole nother class. Actually, you should teach that. But Gretchen knows all sorts of stuff about everything, internet advertising. But you can, again, save so much money now that everyone's moving away from printed materials. These events have become so much more affordable because literally 50% of the budget was just mailing postcard invitations to people, and we've completely stepped away from that now. Okay, almost there. So scoops for you. This was an event we just did this last Sunday. Huge event. We partnered again with the Shirlington Farmers Market. So again, I target a certain neighborhood and community, but I'm sure you guys know of other farmers markets. We literally said to them, hey, we'd like to do an ice cream social at your farmer's market, not only to bring in our past clients and to say thank you, but to potentially bring a new audience to your farmer's market. Maybe people who have never been to the farmer's market before and might then experience it. And we worked with them to go back and forth on how this would happen, but they absolutely loved the idea. It does bring an entirely new audience of people to their farmer's market. They can come, they can meet our team, get a free ice cream, but of course the next thing we say is you guys should go explore the farmer's market too. By the way, we're gonna give you a cute tote bag that you can then go shopping in the market. And so they absolutely love that we do this. They love it so much that they post it all over their farmer's market page and their farmer's market social media. And I think our total sponsorship for that was $1,000. So I think we pay $1,000 to like sponsor, like to partner with the farmer's market. And I know for some people that are just starting out, that is a lot of money, which is why maybe you don't do this event right off the bat. But we pay, I think, $1,000 to get to do this. And then Scoops to You is just an incredible service. They come out, do the ice cream truck, they just charge you per ice cream bar that you serve. But this event has just blown up. This year was very weird. I'm not sure if anyone's experiencing this. Is like everyone away on vacation? It's just like so quiet this year, right?
Yeah.
So this year attendance was much lower than it has been in the past. But generally speaking, we have between 750 and 900 people come to our ice cream truck every year. And that's potentially 750 and 900 new people to see the farmer's market and to get in. So they're like really excited to promote it. Go ahead, Tally.
Are you collecting any information when you're giving those, like when you're doing the free ice cream?
Yeah, so great question. There's a lot of events where we do. It's like key, in fact, the farmer's market, the fall festival, we do like a raffle for a jumbo pumpkin and things like that where we're getting information. This, we talked to the farmer's market about it. We wanted it to be more of a community thank you / come check out the market. So it's a weird one because we're not actually collecting information from it. We get a lot of leads. People walk up and they're like, oh, I didn't know, you guys are a real estate team? Like, oh, that's crazy. Like, where'd Mikael go? Of course he leaves, just as Yeah, but he was at the ice cream event recently and he, had a half-hour conversation with a couple that's looking to buy a home and just, I had a couple walk up to me. I had a $1.8 million listing appointment 2 days ago. You were there. They just walked up and they were like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, we get ice cream? And I said, yeah, ice cream, Snickers bars. We had a great conversation. They're like, well, this is kind of crazy. Like, we really need to put our house on the market because we're building a new place. Could you come and like do a listing appointment? So I did that 2 days ago. So they really, you get clients out of this stuff, but we're not doing a good job of capturing information at this particular event. Go ahead, Jay, then Christina.
It was the same question.
Got it.
So you said you send like emails out to your database? So that's what you do, like just emails and then you did social?
So I will say a lot of what we do, because we used to do, so I'm not sure, it's not on here, I don't think. We go to the next slide. We used to do client appreciation events. So it's not on there anymore. You can leave that slide up. We used to do client appreciation events. We used to rent out a pizza parlor and invite everyone in for free pizza, do a movie night, and they just started getting so expensive that I'll be perfectly honest that this was a budget issue. We started piggybacking on like the free events, inviting our clients to experience the event and then giving an extra like giveaway, like a voucher to buy something in the farmer's market or a free dinner on us or a special piece of swag or something. And we found that it still served the same purpose because let's be honest, a client appreciation event is not just about the event, it's about the phone calls that you make ahead of time, it's about the email reminders, it's about the pictures you send out afterwards, it's all of those touches. And we shortened this presentation a lot. I really wish that I had some pictures for you guys. Again, because we started having people show up to the free events and get extra stuff if they were past clients. So it served like a dual purpose. So yes, targeting our
Emailing, calling.
Yep. Hey, we're gonna be at this farmer's market, or hey, we're gonna be down at Shocktoberfest at this event. We're giving away 2 free drink tickets. If you guys come see us, let's get a photo. That's a big thing. Come see us, take a photo with the team. You'll get 2 free beers and like a special mug from K. Houghton and Associates. And it's like, boom, you have a client appreciation event piggybacked off of something that was completely free to begin with.
Do you think it makes more sense, like, when you say that when you give an ice cream, you don't give their information, that it's more authentic, that you're not asking for their information?
I think you can do it authentically when you do something like a raffle. But I do think you're right, to have people like sign in or have to give
Yeah,
their
they give you another
information
guess,
to
yeah.
get the ice cream, then it would have such a different feel to it.
Right.
And so like we've always just, that's been our style.
And you think that's why people like come up and talk to you, because you're
Yeah,
not pressing?
100%, cause they're just like, what, really? It's really free? Like, sweet, okay. And each ice cream bar costs us like $2. So I just gave you a $2 ice cream, and now all of a sudden you're volunteering all your information and telling me about your $1.8 million home. Go around. Yes,
Sorry.
I love it.
Do you have an annual budget for this, and are you tracking your ROI?
My goodness, love that question and hate the answer. You might be able to talk to this, I do wanna get Kristin up here. Like, tracking ROI, I've worked with so many coaches that are like, tracking your lead source, lead source, lead source, lead source. And it is very challenging, because people will maybe see you at an event, but then save your information and call you later, or they see you at an event, they would have called you anyways, or, you know, it's very hard to track. So I think it's more, this is a terrible answer, it's more anecdotal. So literally, like, we just came out of that past event, and we're sitting around at our team meeting, talking about how many people we connected with and how many new appointments we have, and we're like, we've got 5 new appointments that came out of this one event. That's amazing, it was clearly a success. But are we doing a really good job of like tracking it for the future? Because there's gonna be some people that come to that event that we might not capture in the moment, but maybe call us a couple weeks later.
Do you, like, you don't have like an intake form when you get a client or an appointment or something, and say, where did you hear about us, or something like that?
100%, it's the first question we ask, and so many people are like, I just know you guys, you're from around the neighborhood, I see you everywhere. That's like the answer that we
It's a
get
great
all the
problem to
time.
have.
Yeah, they're like, I see you guys everywhere. And so you can't pinpoint that one thing, and that is the trouble if you're targeting a certain geographic area. Now for you guys, it may be way easier if you have like a mom's group or a book club, like your sister's in a book club, and it has 20 members, and you're like, hey, let me take you guys all out for a happy hour. Then when you ask someone later how they heard of you, they're gonna say like, oh, I was at your book club event. That would be much easier to track. I think it's a problem unique to us, not being able to track this well. I think that you guys could find a way to track the return on investment much more easily. You have another question?
Yeah, so as, you know, your past clients are walking up to see you, do you get, or do you serve anybody that walks up, like you just give away free ice cream? It's for everybody, right, not just past clients? Okay. Got it.
But again, if someone comes up, this one we didn't do as a past client event as
Yeah.
well, but if someone, we actually are smart now, because you get to the point, we've done 1,200 transactions now, so we can't possibly remember everyone's face. So we send out the information ahead of time, and you get a QR code, and so we say, hey, come up to the booth and scan your QR code, and then you get a free gift. And so we're tracking every time they scan their, you know, so we have a specific list of what past clients came, so we can then call them and thank them for coming to the event, because they've scanned their QR code in order to get. And that also ensures that we're not giving away $25 gift cards to random strangers.
Right, and when they scan it, it prompts them for their information?
No, because we sent it out to them in the invite, so we just said, bring this QR code, it just scans it, and it actually, I forget, I wish Erica was here, I think it actually, I don't know if each code's unique to them, but, because when it scans them, we get a list of like, Jill Smith came and this person came. Yeah, but all they have to do is scan it, so that's the nice thing, is that, like, they don't have to do extra work, they just scan it.
Who do you have, making the calls, emails before and after? Like, that's always a challenge,
Yep.
of like, 'cause I don't like doing it.
I was just gonna say, okay,
I'm like, I've been trying to get her
Okay.
eye contact for a while.
yeah, so, like, Patricia's helping a lot with the sales team. We've started making things like a literal requirement. So we took our target market, for this particular event, because that's the other thing, this is like, the ice cream truck happens to be in Arlington, Virginia, so we're not necessarily going to be calling, like, we also work in a very concentrated area, but we're not gonna be calling our clients that like maybe moved to Gaithersburg, Maryland for this specific event. Maybe we would call them for another one. So we did whittle down the list. I think it was to like 540 people that we were calling, and we split it up on the team. Each agent got 80 to 100 clients. And Irian, I have video of her. Thanks, Raven. Raven killed it too. But Irian, I have video of her like sitting cozy under a blanket with her coffee mug in the office, just dialing people and saying like, hey, can't wait to see you there. I'm gonna send you a text message after the fact with all of the information, so you get the text message. Now that we're past the event, we're doing the, I'm so glad I got to see you there calls, and it's just a requirement of the team. It's like, if you don't make your calls, guess what? You don't get to come to the event. So,
Accountability.
yeah, it's just like,
That's a good call.
oh my god, and it's so fun. Here's the thing I will tell you, these are easy calls. People are like, oh my god, free ice cream, what? You know, you're not cold calling people. I just wanted to tell you about the swag, and then again, I want to bring Kristin up here, but go to the next slide for me. This is, keep going. So, we can send this out after the fact. I just wanted you guys to have this information. Like, Drink More Water has been one of the best partners ever. They have like recycled bottles. You guys, this like, it's amazing. The branded water bottles, I really hate that they're plastic and I'm contributing to waste. I know it's like, kills my soul, but these are the best promotion pieces ever. People carry them around downtown. I think that we've got these down to like $2 a bottle or something along those lines. You just have some more information. We're not fancy. I know, I forget her name in our group. Andrea has some really neat, Andrea, you would know, has some really neat vendors for promotional products. We're just, we use For and Print Forever, and it's just easy. And you get cool stuff, and you would be shocked at how much people love free shit. Oh my god, guys, you know how much people love. Go back one for me. Like, this was, we had a client event, and we gave away these koozies, and these are all, they was the Jimmy Buffett concert. They all took their koozies to the Jimmy Buffett concert, like 12 of them, and used them the whole time they were tailgating. So people just love free stuff, okay? That was it.
Yeah, thank you, Kay.
Kristin, I'd love to get you up here.
There's hers up here.
And then at the end, I'll show that one slide that was like, here's the 10 things you need to do to host an event, and we can do our worksheet together.
So I'm gonna pick up right where you left off and reverse engineer before we go into the slide. So one of the questions was, who do we have making all the phone calls? And my favorite thing is similar to Kate, there's no way that I would have time to go back and call all of the people in my database to come to an event. We do assign to each one of our agents their own sphere and their own clients, so they are calling, but we're using slide dial and slide broadcast for mine. So I record the voicemail drop, and it goes out to everybody's voicemail, and I know when it happens because my phone starts ringing and blowing up, and I'm like, what just happened? And Tally's like, oh yeah, we sent out an invite to whatever event. And so people are calling and they're saying, oh, I just missed your call. You did not miss my call, I did not call. I just dropped a voicemail, slide dial.
She's way more
Favorite.
sophisticated about that, for sure.
It is my
We
favorite.
need
So
to learn more about that.
Yes.
Slide broadcast.
Do not tell
Yeah.
Ian
That's
about
slide
slide
dial.
dial,
Slide
because she will not make her calls. Do not tell her.
Yeah,
She's not allowed.
So
Yes.
I record a voicemail that's like, hey, it's Kristin, wanted to invite you to an event this Friday, 5 to 7 p.m., blah, 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 blah. Hope you can make it. And we'll sometimes follow up with a text message as well. So that voicemail comes from my personal cell phone number. And then we go back through and actually call and try to get people. But a lot of times, as soon as that voicemail drop happens, people are calling me back.
Can you do that for my follow boss, for the number?
I cannot speak to follow calls, we use Brevity.
Okay.
But I don't think you can do a voicemail drop.
I think you,
You can't in follow-up.
Not a follow-up.
You
Provide
can just
the
use
number.
slide broadcast with your follow-up boss number.
for the, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can tell in the slide broadcast what number to send it from.
Right.
Yeah, so it appears that way. So that's my favorite hack. It does not, as Kay said, it does not replace you actually calling your people, but it does blanket with at least one touch that they think you made, and then you go through and, you know, pick the favorites, do what you gotta do, and pick different ones each time. The second one was what was the last thing we were just talking about? Oh, so swag can be really expensive, and I will tell you, because you're at EXP, I bought a $20,000 printer that is direct to film. So if you would like to come and do your work and bring your own t-shirts or your own bags, whatever, you can use my machine to print it out and heat press. So you come and do your own manual labor and you pay for it, and you can use my machine for a small fee.
Wow. That's very generous.
Yeah.
Is it easy?
Yeah, I make t-shirts all the time, it's like my favorite thing, and I make tote bags, and anything that you can heat transfer onto fabric. You can print out a 4-color ink and then put it on whatever you want.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna take you up on that.
I know,
The whole
that was
team,
a, that was a.
I know the whole team has been asking me forever, can we get hats, can we get?
I have a hat press, I'm not
Yeah,
willing to
okay.
do the labor, I'm only willing to do it for my own clients, but if you wanna come and, you know, pay for your own materials and you do your own labor, then knock yourself out.
We should do it. as
I will
one.
happily take a small fee to pay off that $20,000 Yeah. So I have a commercial crafting in my basement. I have a breathwork room, and then I have commercial crafting, cause it's what I enjoy, so. Okay, so, where we started with events was, listen, I grew up poor. Like, you can give the girl money, but you cannot take the poor out of the girl. So I will find a way to be super resourceful and make things really, really cheap, and Talia is on board with that. So between the two of us, we're like DIYing all of the things. Where I started was 20-something years ago, back when Redbox was the thing. Anybody remember Redbox?
Yeah.
Okay, so I went to Costco, and I got a huge thing of popcorn bags that were already folded up, you know, like pre-pop, not pre-popped. And I went to Redbox online, and I got the digital $1 coupons, and I did a mail merge, and I printed them out, and I put one of the codes in I printed my own postcards on my own printer, and I slid it into the popcorn bag with a ribbon around it, and I mailed it to everyone. So it cost me like $1.25, and I said, this is your VIP Red Carpet Club. And I initiated them into the club. So like, that was my event. I grew into not buying the movie theater out, because I just don't feel like that was a good use of money, but what I did is I said, instead of a Redbox coupon, you can come to me at the Courthouse Movie Theater, and I will give you a voucher to go see whatever movie you want. So when, in previous years, like when a big Star Wars movie came out, then I just bought like 50 tickets to the Star Wars theater, and I was like, everyone show up. I'm not buying the theater out, but I'm just like buying a bunch of tickets. And then I invited them to the restaurant nearby, and we did a little reception before or after, like they had to come to the reception to get the ticket to then go see the movie. But then if there's not a big Star Wars thing, I was like, what do? We chose a theater, and they came and they got a voucher, and then they walked up to the booth and exchanged it for whatever movie they wanted to go see, and we still had the reception. So that was like, these are low cost, you decide how many you wanna do, and it's a fixed price. There's a lot of different websites you can go to, or Groupon, where you can get really inexpensive stuff like that and host your event, and it's way cheaper than it normally would have been. So his idea of like piggybacking on something that already exists, go to Groupon and find what's cheap and buy a lot. I did that when there was an Alice in Wonderland like community scavenger hunt thing where you dress up in costume. It was in Old Town, and you get this app and you participate. Anyway, it was like very, very cheap, and I just bought a bunch of Groupon, and everyone thought I bought full price tickets, and I was like, nope, I'm cheap. Okay, so these are how many people I have to help do all the things. So Library of Congress, this is something we started to do recently. On Thursdays, the Library of Congress hosts a happy hour. So it's free unless you wanna buy cocktails, in which case you have to buy your own cocktails. And so we just invited everyone to the library, and it's like, they have flamenco dancers, and it's like a theme where there's like stuff going on.
This is such a good idea, and talk about just, again, piggybacking on something that already
And
exists.
it's so fun, there's other people there.
Right, it's full, and it's not something that people know about, and they wouldn't know, so it's like really novel, and if you wanna get, one of your vendor partners to buy a couple of cocktails, so we would just go wait in line, grab a couple of cocktails, bring them to a table, and then as our people came, we're like, would you like one of these cocktails? Cause there was a long line, so like, there's logistically things we need to figure out, but we figured that out, and that was really, really inexpensive. And you gotta, my favorite thing is I preach to the team all the time, is ma'ams. My favorite
about
thing,
what
We're
cocktails
so
you get.
excited
I know.
about what you're saying.
my ADHD cannot handle it, cause I wanna be participating in the conversation. Is sometimes you just gotta invite people to what you're already doing. And so if they come, cool, if they don't, like sometimes it's just me and the team hanging out, and we're like, well, that was fun. You know, they don't all land, but if you're not spending $1 million, who cares, and you still got the opportunity to give the touch. We did a World Cup watch party right here, and it was just the team, and Jay put on this beautiful charcuterie spread, and we ate it.
We ate it up. And somebody else paid for it, so
Somebody
really
else
wouldn't
paid
it
for
matter?
it, and we talked to all our people, and they were like, we can't come, but like, what a great idea, thank you so much. And they don't know that nobody was there. It's like wearing something from Walmart, you only know if you were there. If I bought it at Walmart or Costco, which is more likely the case. Okay, so let's continue. So Kay's doing a different Easter bunny, okay? They're a couple blocks away. It already existed, this is something that the neighbors had put together and did the Easter bunny thing, and we said, well, guess what? We will invite our clients to that. And so we didn't put it on, but we made it a client event, and I think we brought a number of eggs that were stuffed with candy inside, and that was our contribution.
And the bounce house.
Oh, and then this year, we upgraded to providing the bounce house at the event, so then we get the signage and all that stuff. Easy peasy. Bounce houses are not as expensive as you think they are. And I travel for all the holidays, so I can't be at these things, but they're happening anyway, and a couple of team members in branded t-shirts, and it's like, we were all there, it doesn't matter that I wasn't there, the neighbors know that we were there. Continue. Okay, I am really passionate about doing something charitable and giving back with all the things that we do, and so our team has actually become known for being really benevolent in that way. And so one of the things, I started by building wells in Africa and, you know, stuff like that, and we realized how important it is to take care of the people at home too, and to really engage in the community. So as we were planning community events, we just like tacked on a charitable component to it. And so one of the things that we realized, especially in this area, we have a really diverse community, and there's a lot of children on the free and reduced lunch program. Well, that has additional fallout that isn't addressed by way of the hygiene items. If they're struggling for food, they're gonna prioritize money over food, over soap, or shampoo, or tampons, or hair products, or what have you. So I called up each one of the counselors at the schools, and I said, hey, can we build a hygiene closet at your school? And they were like, yes, you can. I said, great. So all I had to do was buy a shelving kit. In some cases, they already had a closet that existed. And then we distributed bags with a little, like the brown paper grocery bags with a little QR code and a little piece of information that said, you know, fill up this bag and return it to our house. Or I sent out into the listserv an Amazon wish list. Here's all the items that people would like to have. We're collecting for the local elementary school for children who can't afford these items. Please buy from the wish list. And then it got delivered to my house. And then we made a big deal about delivering all of the items to the different schools. I didn't pay for any of those things. We just engaged the community in something that they didn't know how to organize. So we organized it and we delivered and we took all the credit for it. And then we got to turn right back around and say, thank you so much. Look at that, because of you, look at all the stuff that we were able to deliver to the hygiene closets and take care of the kids. And it's an annual or semi-annual event that you can continue to go back and say, it's time to refill the pantries. So you have a reason to go and touch. So not all events have to be everyone come together. It's just about touching them and engaging them in something. When we do similar things like coat drives, we would have them drop things off on my porch. And so suddenly my porch is filling up with coats, or with canned goods for AFAC here, and then guess what? I get to see those people, and I get to go back out into the world and social media and listserv and be like, look at my front room just filling up and exploding, and you know, my porch. So it doesn't have to be something that you're paying for. You can have other people pay for it, and you're just doing the work. Okay? The neighborhood yard sale, this is one of my favorites, and this has grown over the years as well. I started out just by advertising the local neighborhood yard sale. And I just picked a date and I said, hey, everybody, we're gonna do, it was neighborhood, like National Neighbor Day. And apparently Arlington has that every year. And so we're like, oh, okay. So we're gonna do a neighbor day, and we're gonna organize a yard sale so everybody knows to put their crap out on their lawn at the same date and time. And we advertised it on Craigslist and Facebook and what have you. And we had them, for the people who were not hosting their own yard sale, we had them come to my house, and we had door knocked with those same brown bags and said, please fill up this bag with Arlington Clothesline for Kid donation items or AFAC canned good donations items, and bring them to my driveway on this particular day. And when they got there, I had a popcorn machine and coffee and donuts, and it was just like, hey, let's hang out, neighbors. And then you saw the driveway fill up with all the donations, and the neighbors started hanging around chatting with each other. And then I collected enough signatures to get the bloodmobile to come to the neighborhood. So I called Red Cross, and they said you have to get, I don't know, 150 signatures that people will show up if they bring the bloodmobile. And so I captured their information under the guise that they were signing up the bloodmobile, but I also kept those email addresses.
Yeah.
And then we bought the bloodmobile. So it was like one event begets another event, and again, it didn't cost me anything. I just had to advertise the event. It has grown over the years now. We've asked our local small business owners if they wanna set up a table to sell their wares at the local elementary school on neighborhood day, so it's not just yard sale, it's supporting small businesses. We have our moving partners come, and they bring the moving truck, and whatever people don't sell that they wanna donate, the moving company picks it up, they drive around to all the yard sales, they load it up in the truck, and then they drive it to the donation centers. So it's solving a problem, and the mover gets to show off their service, and again, didn't cost us anything. And then we were gonna add a shredding truck to that this year, and they actually didn't show up, but we're like, we haven't paid you, so you probably shouldn't show up. So we were waiting for better fiscal years before we pay for the shredding truck, but people love that. And, oh yeah, that's just like full service, so everybody's putting their stuff out, and I had purchased an ice cream truck a few years ago. I think it was during COVID, it was like an impulse buy, and I decorated it, and I would just give things out. I would just drive the ice cream truck around the neighborhood and give things away.
I remember seeing this on social
It was
media.
so much fun.
Being like,
Yeah, sometimes we were giving away mimosas, sometimes we were giving away coffee and donuts, you never knew what I was gonna be giving away.
Wait, I'm sorry, I apologize, did you say you rented the van or
I
you bought?
I bought this rickety old ice cream truck that looked like a stranger should have been handing candy out of it to little children. And I spray painted it, and I got a magnetic logo. And I mean, it was a DIY project that I'm very proud of.
Now, did you have to have a license in order to be able to?
No, because I didn't sell anything.
You gave it.
I gave it away. So I would go to Costco and I would buy ice cream, and then I would put it in the cooler in the ice cream truck, and then I would give it away. And then I had my children scripting it and giving it away, and then we made it into fundraisers, and then I had local politicians calling and asking if they could have the ice cream truck, and everybody in the neighborhood knew that I bought an ice cream truck and I had one. So we had it at open houses, we had it all the things. And so during the neighborhood day, I would drive around when everyone's having their yard sale, and I would drive around and give them coffee or mimosas or whatever. And I did get pulled over, and we were sitting on the coolers with the mimosas, and the cop was like, on your way. We're just spreading cheer. And I'm like, okay, great, thank you so much. So don't do as I do, do as I say, right? It's the opposite. Okay, moving on. This is great. So I'm super into being like a holistically well person, and people know that. So I became a breathwork facilitator and one of my agents is a yoga instructor. And so we just said, hey, people, free, awesome mindfulness and mimosas in the park. And so we put into our cooler champagne and orange juice, and we showed up in the park and we said, bring a yoga mat and free breathwork and yoga, and then we will drink afterwards. Trader Joe's sells Blanc de Blanc champagne for like $2 a bottle. When you mix it with orange juice, it's wonderful and very, very low cost. I got one of those like Tommy Bahama rolling coolers from Costco, and I printed a logo and I slapped it on it so it looks like a KFT branded cooler, and we take that thing everywhere. Moving on. Like here's the cooler. See it? So at the last day of school, we show up with this big speaker and we blast schools out for summer, and we get these icy pops. And we're there with scissors and icy pops, and the kids come out and we are giving away free popsicles. Randolph Elementary right here at the top in my neighborhood is a totally pedestrian school. So the parents have to walk to pick up the kids and then bring them home. And so we knew that we would get the parents and the children. And so we gave out popsicles, and the first year we gave out little shots of vodka as well for parents. But we came home with too many of those.
Did they
so
come back?
Yeah, well, they were mad this year when we showed up without them. They were like, so sorry, but we came home with so many. There's a lot of cultures that don't drink.
We
so
did
we're
the
like,
same, that hot cocoa event I told you about, we totally had the like wink, wink,
Yeah.
Baileys and whatever, if the parents wanted it.
Yeah, so it was the same thing, we had a little sling. So, we do the local, for each one of our agents, they pick the school in their neighborhood, and then they just like sign out the cooler, and we go as a team, and we blast the music, and the schools love it, and they learn to anticipate it. When I was in, my kids were in preschool, I did the magnetic calendars, we did that again this year too. So as they came out, we gave the popsicles, and then we gave the school calendar for the following school year. So guess what's gonna be sitting on their refrigerator for the next year? Right?
People love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Super low lift, super low cost. Barrier to entry is real small. Christine, you had a question?
So for schools that weren't like pedestrian based, right? Like, did you,
This is Glasgow Middle, which is not pedestrian.
you still had like parents coming up there?
Yeah,
Is
so
that
they
what,
have a
like-
pickup line with the
Okay.
cars, so
Yeah.
they would see that we're sitting
So you
there. And
have
in
to-
some cases, we would run up to the cars and be like, do you want one? But the kids are all getting on the bus or in the car with a popsicle, and they're like, their kids are like, where'd you get that crack? And we're like, the Kristin Francis team supplied us with
And
that.
Kristin, when we
Sugar
did
bomb.
Justice this year, that was not a pedestrian school, really.
Yeah.
But we had 35 teachers,
Oh, yeah.
principals, we had another 30 admin that would come out and took the calendars and were super excited to see us.
Yeah, and
So
the
you had at least
principals
60
love us.
contacts there, and they were
Right.
really quality contacts.
Yeah, and so they'll, call and invite us to do other things. So we're providing hygiene closets, support for their school, we're providing fun cultural things at the end of the day. These schools do not have money, as Kay was saying, they are so happy. And, the elementary school people, those are the demographics of people that are moving. So preschool and elementary, they're pumping out kids and like, oh man, I've run out of space, right? So high schools, maybe you're gonna get some downsides, but they also don't care, you're not gonna be able to get popsicles. So you wanna make sure that there is gonna be actual engagement there, and that's why we added the school calendars this year, because at least those would make it home on the bus, where the popsicles did not.
And how did you make the magnets? Did you use one of the vendors that Kate put up?
We have our own vendor for that one, but don't think I wasn't just Googling yesterday how to print my own calendars in a printer. So you can, in fact, print your own school calendars if you want to DIY. So if you are a crafty crafter.
There's a QR code at the end, if you send an email, I'll send you the company that we use, cause it was, a lot of them were very expensive, and this one ended up being
Yeah.
pretty reasonable.
So what, $2 a magnet?
Like nobody can out DIY and cheap than me and Callie.
That is true.
Yeah, okay, continue. Oh, this was one of our, best attended, and people loved it. We created our own sip and paint event. You know how you can get those Groupons to go and drink and paint with your friends? Well, we just did it ourselves. I bought a bunch of these little canvases and the little paints and brushes, and we just bought them in bulk, and we went to, this is Jack, he was our agent, he's a dancer, he had a dance studio that he would use all the time, and so we just asked the lady who owned it if we could host it after hours in her studio, and she said yes. So we did, and we had somebody else who was an artist, and she taught us how to do it, and so we just did a little like Costco charcuterie spread, and again, like the Trader Joe's Blanc de Blanc, and some bottles of wine, and we had everybody come and paint, and most people were like, I am miserable at painting, but this was so much fun. And again, the cost was super, super low. I'm trying to go as fast as I can so you guys can get to alcohol. Okay, so this actually encompasses several things, but we like to provide memorable experiences for the community, and to the point that we were talking about before, there's a difference between geographic farming and demographic farming, and sometimes we will combine them both. So my geographic farm is my neighborhood, and we're always doing something there, and a demographic farm is my sphere of influence. It doesn't live in my neighborhood, but sometimes you can do two things at once and invite them into something that you're doing in your neighborhood to make it also a client event. It just so happens you're doing it in your neighborhood. So during COVID, one of the things that really exploded was the mobile pumpkin patch. Every year, this is our Halloween block party. I'm just looking to solve a problem. So we have more than 400 kids that come and trick or treat in our neighborhood. They get bussed in from other places that are apparently not as pedestrian friendly or safe. And so we were like, I cannot believe how many Costco bags of candy were going through here, and then the streets were just like flooded with kids. So we got smart and we started getting a permit to close the street during trick-or-treating times to make it safe for the kids. Well, one year when I did that, I had a taco truck come and block off the street, and so then I just bought a bunch of tacos, and I said, come at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because the problem at Halloween is you gotta get your kids fed, you gotta get them in costume, they gotta do their homework, and then get out and trick or treat, and it's like a mad scramble. So I was like, we will feed you, we'll have tacos. My client was a face painter, so I had her come and like do the face paints and help it, like just dress in your costume and then bring them here. And while we're feeding you our kegs and wine to the parents, we're feeding your children and getting them face paint, and then they just had like fun, and we did glitter tattoos, and now that's grown into a chili cook-off because our neighbor died, and so instead of tacos, now we're having everybody bring chili for a chili cook-off, and then they don't have to do tacos, or the Domino's pizza, or what have you. And so then we just have awards for who wins the chili cook-offs. And so like every year we've added a little something to it, and everybody looks forward to it every year. Well, during COVID, when we couldn't do that, we created the mobile pumpkin patch. And so we got a trailer that I put onto the back of my Yukon, and we had the local nursery deliver the regular pumpkins, and they come in these big cardboard boxes. And so we just put the cardboard boxes of pumpkins onto the trailer, and then we climbed up and we wrote it like it was the beauty pageant. And same speaker, we blasted Halloween music, and we told the neighbors that we would be riding around the neighborhood and be at these particular stops at this particular time. And then we had stickers on each pumpkin, and when we would stop, or like kids would come out into the neighborhood and be like, what's going on? And we would stop the parade, and we would allow them to climb up onto the trailer and pick their pumpkin, and then go back to their house. And meanwhile, I'm wearing a tiara, and we're waving, and it's so much fun. I make my own Halloween costumes, so like it's a big deal. There's the glitter tattoos. We just want to make sure that everybody knows that like my house is the place to be, that we always have something going on. And so when people have ideas about things they want to do, I'm the person that they call. They're like, hey Kristin, it would be so cool. Could we? And I'm like, yep, we sure could. And I'm gonna figure out a way for someone else to pay for that. This is a wine tasting event I put on at Sequoia, the Georgetown waterfront. Again, one of my clients was a wine rep, and so she had all these credits, and we got to do it at basically cost, and it was a very fancy event for not as much money as it looks like it should have been. And very well attended, as you can see. It was a beautiful day. All of our clients now they want to come to the events to be with each other. Like, what you don't see is there's a coffee flavored tequila being passed under the table from one of our clients who lived in Hawaii, and he was always, you could rely on him. He would show up with his secret bottle and it would go under the table and everybody would be passing it to each other. And so it was a great way to create community amongst your own clients so they want to come back to these events. This is again during COVID, we put on a big circus in the park. So we hired the individual performers and we made all the different signage, and it was really tremendous and beautiful and just a lot of fun. And it was just in Long Branch Park. Like, it didn't cost us anything, we just had to reserve it. So the costs were just for the acrobats and the flight. So it was more expensive as we have grown into, but when you're saving money on all these other little things, you can save it up for the big events. Oh yeah, so again, my costumes are amazing. This is the mobile pumpkin patch. So I just slapped our banner. I hang it on my house for the Halloween block party, and I slapped it on the trailer for the mobile pumpkin patch, and that's me in an inflatable unicorn costume. Here's us wearing our crowns, and I'm in the car riding through the neighborhood, and it's all very fun and funny, and people come to look forward to it. Photos with Santa has become our signature event at the end of the year, beginning of December. We go onto like Thumbtack or whatever, Big Salad, I think, and we find a Santa. And Santa comes to my house, and we take my back porch and we pull the furniture out and I decorate it as a winter wonderland, and we invite everyone to come to my house with their family or their pet and sit for a photo with Santa. And we have, it's like a reception, and it's a fun time, and then we have our team photos. As you can see, we know how to have a good time. And so people will come for free photos, and so then we'll send them a digital photo in time that they can make their Christmas cards out of it, and so then they're dependent on us every year for their family photo. Yes?
December usually is a busy time, right? So what?
We do it on a Sunday, usually the first week in December. So right after Thanksgiving, when people are now starting to shift, but the Christmas parties aren't like totally in full swing. So it's usually like December 7th is our date. And we'll do, like this year, instead of dressing up just in regular clothes, we got matching pajamas, and we told our clients, if you want to, because sometimes matching pajamas is a theme. So we're gonna say, hey, you know what? If you want to come in your matching family pajamas, do it. We're gonna do it. And so it was the greatest thing ever, because we were just in our pajamas at the house.
I'm sorry, my second set of pajamas.
There was, yes.
The first one's getting like word for word.